Welcome to Practice Web. In this front office video tutorial, you will learn how to use all of the features needed for your everyday front office tasks. You can use the control bar at the bottom of the screen to pause the video at any time. You can also control the volume and availability of the table of contents by clicking on the appropriate button in the lower right of the video. If you click on the table of contents button, the menu will appear on the left side of your screen. You can replay any chapter of this video at any time by clicking on it. Now that you know how this video tutorial is set up, let's get started. To add a provider to the Practice Web software, go to the List menu and click on Providers. To reduce visual clutter, double left click on the provider that was left from the trial database. This will bring up your Edit Provider screen. The abbreviation is typically the doctor's initials. This is how you'll identify your provider throughout the Practice Web software. Enter the doctor's last name, first name, middle initial, and title. It is also important to enter all your licensing information for this provider correctly and completely to avoid having rejected claims for something as simple as incomplete information. If you have multiple providers, you can assign a background color to the provider so at a quick glance you know which appointments belong to specific providers. To change the background color of the appointment, click on the color box and select the preferred color from the color palette. Click OK to save. The highlight outline color is selected the same way. The fee schedule should be left at standard UCR by default. So in case a patient doesn't have the contracted fee schedule entered for their insurance, you can be sure that at least the UCR fee will be attached to their account. Depending on the provider, you can also assign a specialty title for billing purposes. You only select secondary provider if the information on the left belongs to a hygienist. If you're sending claims electronically, you must have a check mark in Signature on File. When you have entered complete information for this provider, click OK to save. If you're adding an additional provider to your practice, from the provider screen, you can click on the Add button and a blank Edit Provider screen will appear. You can now enter the information for your additional provider as you were previously shown. To enter your practice information, go to the Setup menu, then click on Practice. Enter your dentist name or practice title, then your practice address. This address information is what will show up on your claims, patient billing statements, letters, etc. This is also the address where all of your payments will be remitted to. The billing address and pay to address are only filled out if you have multiple locations with one corporate office. You can print legitimate deposit slips from Practice Web by entering your routing number, account number, and bank information into this field. This feature can save you a great deal of time when you're performing your nightly accounting tasks. The default provider that is highlighted in this box will be the provider who is first selected when creating appointments and entering treatment. Default billing type is typically left at standard account. This way new patients aren't automatically assumed to be a bad debt or going to collections. Default insurance billing dentist is typically left at default practice provider. Once you have entered your practice information, click OK to save your changes. To enter your fees, schedules, and fees, go to the List menu and click on Procedure Codes. This will bring up your CDT code list. You can enter any contracted fee schedules by clicking on the Fee Schedules button. When you click on Add, this will allow you to type in the name of the contracted fee schedule. Continue adding any fee schedule names for the insurances you may be in network with. Once your fee schedule names are entered, click on Close. Now it is time to add your fees. Highlight the name of the fee schedule you want to add fees for from the View Fee Schedule column. Notice that the name of the fee schedule highlighted and the name of the fifth column on the main list will match. This is how you know which fees you are entering. To enter the fees, single left click on the box to the right of the procedure code. The field will activate and you can enter your fee. To enter your fees in the most efficient manner, just enter the whole numbers and hit enter. Notice the fee will automatically save and drop you down to the next field. You can save even more time by only entering the fees for the procedures you'll perform in your practice. You can organize your procedure codes in further detail by double left clicking on the description box of that procedure code. In the Edit Procedure Code screen, you can edit the abbreviation, the paint type, how it appears on your graphical tooth chart, and organize your codes with user-defined categories. You can also adjust how much time will be allotted for this procedure when it is attached to an appointment. Dashes are assistant time, and X's are doctor time. You can left-click to change the setting. You can also enter default notes that will automatically be entered into the patient's chart when this procedure is set complete. Once you have made any preference changes to this procedure code, click OK to save. Fee tools can be used to quickly edit an entire fee schedule. First, highlight the fee schedule you wish to edit, then click on Fee Tools. From here, you can copy fee schedules from one name to another. This is helpful when you want to make a copy of a previous year's UCR fees before doing an increase. There is an import and export tool so you can share fee schedules between two locations that use Practice Web. You can also increase an entire fee schedule by a percentage and all of the fees attached to that fee schedule will be affected. This way you don't have to update fees individually by procedure code. If you make any changes to a fee schedule, you can use the Global Update tool to affect any patients that may have this fee schedule assigned to their insurance plan. Depending on the need of your practice and the reason for the update, these fee tools can be extremely beneficial and save your practice a great deal of time. When you first open the Practice Web software, the first thing you see is your appointment schedule. It is beneficial to your practice to establish hours of operation in your appointments module. Not only does having hours of operation in your appointment module give you guidelines as to when to schedule appointments and when not to schedule, it will also make it easier to schedule recall appointments using the Quick button. This will help your front office manage appointments more efficiently. To set up your hours of operation, go to the Setup menu, then click on Schedules. This will bring up your calendar where you can enter your office hours. Today's date is noted in red, so you know when your future hours will be entered. Starting with Monday, double left click on that day. It will bring up your Edit Day screen. Highlight your provider's initials from the column on the right, and then click on the Add button. Select your start time when you'll begin seeing appointments, and then select your stop time when you would like to go home for the day. Click OK to save your hours for this day. If you have different hours of operation on different days, you can then double left click on the next day that you want to add your hours for. Highlight the doctor's initials, and then click Add again. If your office is closed for lunch, then the start time is when you begin seeing appointments and stop time is when your lunch starts. Click on Add again, and the start time will be when you come back from lunch, and stop times will be when you go home. Once you click OK to save this will give you a distinct visual time for your lunch on your appointment module. If you have days that are the same, you can select a day by single left clicking on that day and click on the Copy Day button in the lower left corner. And notice the date will show up on the clipboard. Now you can single left click on the day you want to make the same and then paste. Repeat this process until the hours for the entire week are entered. You can select any day within a week and click on the Copy Week button. Since there are 52 weeks in a year, you can put in the number 52 in the number field and click on Repeat, and this will fill in the hours of operation for an entire year. Now you're ready to start scheduling appointments. To schedule an appointment for a new patient, double left click on the time slot that you would like to schedule the appointment for. For example, if I want to schedule an appointment in Operatory 2 at 2 p.m., I'll double left click on the highlighted line. This will bring up your Select a Patient menu. By typing in the last name and first name of the patient, you can be certain that their information has never been entered before. This feature helps you avoid duplicate patient entry. When you have verified that their information is new, click on the Add Patient button. This will bring up your Edit Patient Information screen. You can collect as much information as you can while you're on the phone with this patient, but realistically, you may only have enough time to enter the patient's birth date and phone number. Click OK to save the information you just entered. Your Edit Appointment screen will automatically appear. Since this is a new patient, use the Quick Add buttons in the center of your appointment screen to attach the procedures this patient is coming in for to their appointment. Click OK to save. When you properly schedule an appointment and attach the procedures to your appointment, not only can you see what this patient is coming in for on your appointment view, but the software will start the documentation for this patient in the chart module. To schedule an appointment for an existing patient of record, someone who is already entered into your database, the process is similar to that of a new patient. With the patient you want to schedule being selected, you can verify that they are selected by looking at the top of your software. Double left click on the time slot that you would like to schedule their appointment for. Double left click on the patient's name. This will bring up your Edit Appointment screen. You can use an existing treatment plan and single left click to highlight the procedures you're scheduling this appointment for. Click OK to save this appointment. To edit an appointment, simply double left click on the appointment. Your Edit Appointment screen will automatically appear. There may be many different reasons why you would need to edit an appointment. It may be that you wanted to enter an appointment note, or maybe that you needed to add some additional procedures or increase the length of time. It doesn't matter what kind of changes you need to make to help you provide this patient with the best care possible. Just make sure you click OK to save your changes. If it is simply a matter of adjusting the amount of time allotted for this appointment, you can simply hover the mouse at the bottom of the appointment. Notice the mouse cursor change to double arrows. Now you can hold the left mouse button down and drag the appointment to your desired length of time. If a patient calls to reschedule an appointment, you can quickly find the patient's appointment by selecting their name from the Select a Patient menu then click on the View Patient Appointments button. This will bring up your Appointments for Patients screen and will allow you to see all past, present, and future appointments for this patient. You can left-click to highlight the appointment that you would like to reschedule, and click on Copy to Pinboard, or you can click on Go to Appointment to automatically be brought to that day. Whether you click on the Copy to Pinboard button from the Appointments for Patient screen, or you choose to drag and drop the appointment onto the pinboard, you can now use the calendar to pick the day that you would like to reschedule to and drop the appointment in the desired time slot. When the procedures are attached to the appointment properly, you can single right-click on the appointment and click on Set Complete. Not only does marking the appointment as Set Complete give you a new appointment color so you know that this appointment is done, but the process of marking the procedures as completed will automatically place them in the account module and they are ready to be billed to the insurance company. To schedule a recall appointment, make sure that the patient you want to schedule for is selected, and then click on the Make Recall button. It should place your patient's recall appointment on the pinboard with the appropriate date range as to when the patient's appointment should be scheduled. In order for this recall button to work in this way, you have to make sure that your provider schedules are set up properly. Now you can simply drag and drop the appointment from the pinboard to your desired time slot. To enter patient information, make sure that the patient that you want to enter the information for is selected. You can quickly select the patient by clicking on their appointment. Then click on the Family Module button. To enter the patient's information, double left-click on the Patient Information section. This will bring up your Edit Patient Information screen. From the information that your patient entered on their patient registration form, enter the appropriate data into each of the patient information fields. The birth date, social, date of first visit, and all phone number fields, and city and state are automatically formatting. That means that you can type the numbers consecutively and the fields will auto-format. For example, if you enter the birth date in 2-digit format and hit the Tab key, you'll see that the date will automatically format and the software will calculate the patient's age. Same with the social. Enter the 9 digits consecutively and hit the Tab key, and the software will automatically format the dashes. For all phone numbers, starting with the area code, enter the numbers consecutively. The parentheses and dash will automatically format. Enter in the street number and then click on the zip code field. If you enter a zip code that is recognized by the Practice Web software, then the city and state will automatically be entered for you. Once you have entered the information for this patient, click OK to save. To add an insurance plan for a new patient, click on the Add Insurance button at the top of the Family module. When you see the prompt asking if the patient you are entering insurance for is a subscriber, make sure you answer truthfully, and the software will lead you to the screen that is needed next so you can enter accurate information. For this training, we're going to say yes to the prompt. Now you will see the Edit Insurance Plan screen. Enter in complete carrier information and group name or group number so you can identify this plan in the future when you use the pick from list to enter insurance for other patients that have this identical plan. Plan type is typically left at category percentage. If this is a private insurance plan, or if it is Medicaid or HMO, you can click on the drop-down menu and select appropriately. To make sure you are billing correctly, you can check the Claim Show UCR fee not billed fee. This will charge the higher fees to the insurance company. If you are an in-network provider, you assign your contracted fee schedule in the Fee Schedule field. This field will produce the fees that your patient's co-pays will be calculated from. To enter the benefit percentages, double left-click in the Benefit Information section. This will bring up your Edit Benefits screen. Make sure you enter in the annual max. This is the amount this plan will pay out during the plan effective dates. Enter in the deductible, the frequencies according to this plan's coverage, then the percentages. You can use the Quick Add fields to enter the percentages by group, or you can single-click into the individual fields to edit benefits for an individual category. If the plan you are entering waives the deductible on preventative care, then make sure that you enter a 0 into each of the deductible fields under the preventative column. When you're finished entering benefits according to this plan, click OK to save. Now click OK in the lower right of the Edit Insurance Plan screen, and this will save your plan. If you need to edit or change an insurance plan, from the Family module, double left-click on the insurance plan. In the upper left-hand corner, you'll see a drop button. Whenever a patient is no longer covered by a specific insurance plan, click on the drop button, and this will store the plan in this family's insurance plan history. To add a new plan, click on the Add Insurance Plan button. It will ask you again if this patient is a subscriber. Again, answer the question appropriately. Since we are adding a new insurance plan, click on the New Plan button. It is highly recommended that you click on the Pick From List button before entering any new insurance plans. Anytime you add an insurance plan to PracticeWeb, it will automatically get stored to your insurance plan list. So rather than typing in a specific insurance plan over and over, you can simply select the correct plan by group name or number, and by double left clicking on that plan, it'll populate all your insurance information into the insurance plan screen. Now just click OK to save this plan. If you need to add an additional family member to an account, while in the Family module, click on the Add Member button. This will bring up the Edit Patient Information screen. Since this is assumed to be a family, the last name will default to be the same as the first patient that was entered, but it can always be changed if it is different. Enter in this new patient's name. All of the information on the left-hand side of the patient information screen is information that pertains to this individual patient. For example, if a mother and father on this account have different cell phone numbers or email addresses. Assuming that this is a family, the first address entered will also automatically enter into this new family member. Like the last name, if the address information for this patient is different than the guarantor of the account, then you can uncheck the Same for Entire Family box and enter the address that pertains to this individual patient. Once you have entered this information completely, then you can click OK to save. To add insurance to a spouse or dependent, make sure that the patient you want to enter insurance for is highlighted. Then click on the Add Insurance button. As previously instructed, answer the prompt correctly to make sure the relationship or subscriber status will be correct. Since this patient is dependent, we'll answer no to this prompt. The next screen to appear is the Select Subscriber screen. Double left click on the name of the subscriber. Now it will bring up a list of plans for this family from the insurance plan history. Anything that is not current will say Not in Use. Double left click on the plan that you want to assign to this dependent. In the upper left-hand corner, you'll see the Relationship to Subscriber field. Use the drop-down to select the correct patient relationship. Then click OK to save this plan. If you have a patient that has dual insurance coverage, while that patient is highlighted, click on the Add Insurance button. For this example, we're going to use the dependent. Correct data and information entry solely relies on the prompts being answered correctly. In this example, we're going to add a new plan for the dependent that they are actually the subscriber to. So when we read the prompt, "Is this patient the subscriber?" we're going to click Yes. Just like before, you can use the Pick from a List to enter the new plan information, or if you don't see the plan you want here, you can enter it manually. Once all the information for this plan has been entered, Click OK to save. When a patient has dual or even tertiary insurances, the correct order of entry is important to make sure that you are billing the correct insurance at the correct time. If you need to correct the order of an insurance, simply double left click on the plan that you want to change. For this example, we're going to make this plan the primary. By double left clicking, it will bring up your Edit Insurance Plan screen. At the top, you'll see a box that says Order. If this plan is supposed to be the primary, change this number from 2 to 1. When you click OK to save, it will automatically change the position of the plans to the correct billing order. If you need to separate a patient from an account for any reason, just highlight their name from the family members list, then click on the Move button. You'll see a prompt that lets you know that you're about to create a new family or account. When you click yes to the prompt, it'll put this patient in their own account and all their balance and information will transfer. This process can be used in the reverse order. If you entered a patient and created a separate account for them, but they should be connected to another patient's account, then click on the Move button and the prompt will tell you that by moving a guarantor, it'll cause two families to be combined. Click OK because this is actually what you're trying to do. Now the software will tell you that it will bring up the Select a Patient menu, so you can select the family member that you want to move this patient to. Once you have searched and found the patient you would like to join to, double left click on their name and these two patient accounts will now be combined without having to create a duplicate patient entry. The chart module is where all of your patient's treatment information is documented. The chart module is connected to your appointment, treatment plans, and account modules. If you recall from earlier in the training, when you attach your procedures to the appointment, it will automatically create your treatment plan in the chart module. As soon as you set complete this appointment, it will change the status of the procedures in the chart module from treatment planned to complete, and place the procedures in the account module for billing to insurance. Sometimes you may need to enter additional procedures that needed to be done today that were not originally scheduled on the appointment, or sometimes you will have to enter procedures as a treatment plan for future appointments. You can enter additional procedures in your chart module. To enter procedures that are being completed today and billed to the insurance, make sure that the bullet is selected for the complete entry status. Now using your quick buttons, you can select the procedure or you can type the procedure code if you have it memorized. To enter procedures by code, you can enter them just as the 4-digit number, no D required. Then hit the Enter key on your keyboard and this will enter the procedure code as complete. And it not only is documented in your chart, but it is now also entered in your account module to be billed to the insurance company. If you need to enter a treatment plan, simply change the bullet from complete to treatment plan entry status, and then use the same method of entry to enter your proposed treatment. Anything listed as treatment plan status will be waiting for you in the treatment plan module for your treatment plan coordinator. It doesn't matter which entry status you have selected. The process of entering treatment history, current treatment, and future treatment is the same. Once your procedures have been entered as completed, they will show up in your account module to be billed to the insurance company. The account module is your patient's ledger. The account module is extremely easy to read. You can see the date of service, the patient's name, the provider, the procedure information, and the patient's fees. If this patient has insurance, you'll see the word unsent at the end of the procedure description. This is a communication tool so that any staff member would be able to see that this patient has had their insurance plan entered and they are ready to bill. To create an insurance claim, simply click on the New Claim button. And if you are sending this claim electronically, click on the Send button at the bottom of the Edit Claim screen. In the Account module, you'll see the reference line for the claim. You'll see the estimated insurance payment and the estimated patient portion. The estimated patient portion is your patient's copay. To make a patient payment, click on the Payment button in the upper left-hand corner of your Account module. This will bring up your payment screen. Enter in the payment amount in the Amount field. This should be the amount that the patient is actually paying today. For future reference, you can add in any payment details or notes that will help you manage your patient's account. Click OK to save this payment. You'll see the payment reference line and the change in your patient's overall balance. If your patient requests a receipt, click on the drop-down menu next to the Statement button and click on Walkout. This will give your patient a receipt of today's services. Once you have received payment from an insurance claim, you will receive what is known as an EOB, or an explanation of benefits. To post a payment from an EOB, first find the name of the first patient listed on the EOB, and find the claim for the date of service that the EOB is paying on. Double left-click on the claim. In the upper right corner of the Edit Claim screen, you'll see a section that says Enter Payment. You can enter your payment by total or by procedure. To enter your payment by total, when you click on the Total button, enter the amount being paid for this patient in the Insurance Paid field. If there are any required write-offs, enter them in the field below. Click OK to save your payment. If you have an EOB that details the payment by procedure, you can click on the By Procedure button and enter the payment in detail. For example, if your EOB tells you that they are paying $60 on the comprehensive exam instead of the estimated $67.50, then you put $60 in the Insurance Paid field. You can make your write-off in the field next to your payment. Repeat this process for each procedure on this claim. Once you click OK to save your payment, then click OK in the lower right corner of the Edit Claim screen. This will save your payment and change your claim status from sent to received. If you have more than one patient on your EOB, then repeat this process for as many patients that are listed. Once the last patient on this EOB has had their payment entered, in the center of your Edit Claim screen, click on the Create Insurance Payment button. The amount field that comes up should match the bulk check that you received with your EOB. Click OK. The next screen will show you a list of patients and it should be identical to your EOB. If it's not, then you can highlight the patient that is causing the discrepancy and click on Detach. This process will allow you to make sure that your payment being posted will match. Once your claim payment screen matches your EOB, click OK to save. The process of creating an insurance payment with this method is very important because if you don't post your insurance payments this way, then it will not show up on your production and income report. After your patient's copay and insurance payments have been received, if there is any balance remaining, this is the patient's responsibility. It'll show up as a red number at the top of your account. If you would like to send this patient an individual billing statement, simply click on the Statement button at the top of the Account module, and this will print a billing statement for this family. If you need to make an adjustment to an account, whether it is simply a courtesy discount or maybe it's an addition type of adjustment like a bad check fee, you can click on the Adjustment button. Whatever the amount of the adjustment is, place it in the Amount field. If you use an addition type of adjustment, it will add a balance to the account. If you use a subtraction type of adjustment, it'll decrease the balance of an account. You can also make notes justifying the reason for the adjustment that can show up on the patient's statement if you choose. Click OK to save. The Manage module is typically used by administrative and managerial staff and contains features that can help those staff members manage your accounts receivable and other administrative functions. If you choose to send your claims as a batch rather than individually from the Account module, rather than clicking Send at the bottom of the Edit Claim screen, click OK, and this will save your claim, but it will put it in a Waiting to Send status. At the end of the night, you can go to the Manage module and click on the Send Claims button. Any claims that did not get sent today will be waiting in this list. You can highlight the claim and click on Preview to make sure that the information on the claim is complete before transmission. If you find that there is something that needs to be corrected, you can right-click on the claim and click on Go to Account to make any necessary corrections. Once you have verified that the claims in this list are ready to be sent, you can highlight all of the claims from the list and click on the Send Claims button. These claims will now be sent to your clearinghouse. To send patient billing statements as a batch, click on the Billing button from your Manage module. This will bring up your billing options screen. In the Filter section, you can make your desired selections based on the patient accounts you would like to try and collect from. Most billing cycles will include any patients that owe you money. The Include Anyone Not Billed Since field typically is set for 30 days in the past. This way patients do not receive too many bills within a single billing cycle. You can change this to today's date, and in the list that comes up you will see the last statement date, and then you can exclude patients manually if they have received a bill recently. The remaining checkboxes you can select based on your preferences. For example, if you want to include patients with pending insurance, or exclude patients if the mailing information is inaccurate. The billing type is typically left at Standard Account. This way, any collections accounts or Medicaid accounts are not included in your list, at least not on a regular basis. You can always change the selection based on your billing preferences for any given cycle. Once you have set your preferences, you can click on the Save as Default button, so your preferred selections don't regularly need to be selected. To generate your list of bills, click on the Create List button. This will generate your list of patients that need to have bills sent. You can hold the Control key down and single left click on a patient's name if you want to exclude them individually from this particular billing cycle. Anyone with a white line item will be excluded, and anyone highlighted gray will receive a bill. Once your list is ready, you can click on the Send button to either print or mail a bill based on the patient's preference. You can generate legitimate deposit slips from the PracticeWeb software. By using the deposit slip feature, you can speed up the process of your nightly accounting tasks. To create a deposit slip, click on the Deposits button and then click on Add. Hold the Control key down so that you can unhighlight your credit card payment type. Then click on Refresh. Only cash and check payments will show up in the list. When you click on the Print, this will print a deposit slip that you can put in your envelope that you're going to take to the bank. A reference of your deposit slips can be found in the initial deposit slip screen, and by double left clicking on the deposit date, you can see your history. To use the employee time clock, first you must have the names of your employees entered. To enter your employees, go to the List menu, then click on Employees. Click on the Add button. Enter in their first and last name, then click OK to save. To have the time card calculate your hours, go to the Setup menu, click on Manage, then click on Time Cards. Click on the Add button under the Pay Period column. Enter in the start date and end date of your pay period. Your paycheck date is solely for your reference and doesn't play a part in calculating your hours. Once you enter your initial pay period, when you click Add again, it will automatically give you the next calendar segment based on your initial entry. It is recommended that you enter the pay periods for at least 1 year to save time when it comes to the process of creating your payroll. Once these settings are entered, you can now use your time clock. When it is time for an employee to clock in, they simply go to the Manage module, select their name, then click on the Clock In button. When it is time for them to clock out, they select their name again, select the correct clock out status, then click the Clock Out button. This will start the process of calculating their hours. To view your employees' hours when processing payroll, just click on the Manage button to see the hour totals. The most important thing that you can do in Practice Web is back up your data. This can be done easily from your Manage module. To back up your data, click on the Backup button. Not only is the backup process important, but restoring your backup to verify its quality is even more so. This can be easily and affordably done using a USB flash drive. At the end of the day, plug in your flash drive into your server. Make sure that the letter in the second field matches the letter of your flash drive, and click on the Backup button. The progress bar will finish. Then you can click OK. From an out-of-network computer, it can be either the doctor's home computer or personal laptop, plug in the flash drive, and then open Practice Web and then click on the Backup button. This time, the field in the Restore section will have the letter of the flash drive. The software will tell you that it is restoring the database from the most recent date. Click OK. Now you can view your reports to make sure that they match what you had when you left the office. If the worst case scenario happens and your office computers fail, at least you know that you have not lost any data.